Here they come, the beautiful lines of the High Elves. Versus my boys in Chaos for Tzeentch, though you see those discs in the background. Harrison versus Pigman. Now this was definitely the game of the tournament we had here this past weekend. Harrison coming in versus the Big Pig. Pigman is a very well known, I wouldn't say very well known, but he's a Land Battles player main. That's what I'll do. Harrison Dom, so this is definitely going to be a rough one. It's going to be a long one, as you guys can see from the time. But it's definitely going to be worth it. Definitely going to be worth it. Immediately going in there with those lines, just trying to push. Got a bunch of lines, a bunch of arrows, spears, Chaos Lords on disc, the works. Already a beautiful sight to see. The Sour Guts already throwing in their pink flames. Flock of Doom being in here from... it's Tyrion? No, it's Teclis. Tyrion's the one I'm trying. My bad. I don't play High Elves. Alright? I just know they're all pointy-eared and stinky. And those arrows... oh man, those arrows are gonna hurt. They need to be shut down today. Right now. Here come the Screamers. They countercharge on those War Lions of Christ. Good. They need to get taken care of today. More War Lions coming in to help countercharge. Even getting those arrows shot into them. And here comes Teclis. Exalted Hero, I like this to provide and push Teclis out of here. Teclis is such an expensive piece, but I think he's worth it. He's fast, he causes terror, he's got plenty of good magic, he's got great abilities. And even though he doesn't have the most HP, he's got this... he's got an item that gives him 40% ward save and healing for a couple seconds, which is pretty nutty. And you'll see that item come into play here later on in the game. The Fireborn are here, the annoying Fireborn. Recently updated and buffed well, not recently, but they're updated and they're buffed and they're annoying. Regrowth being thrown on them, wouldn't be surprised. From Teclis here, because man, those things stick around, they're gonna absolutely shred. But luckily, Tzeentch is pretty good at taking on large targets against Screamers, Spears, Halberds, Severclaw, Soul Grinder of Tzeentch, Chaos Lord, and the Chaos Hero. Probably the best tools in the game to deal with anything large, honestly. At least at melee. Even the Furies are getting a good taste out of those poor Fireborn. And I think the Furies actually should have been hitting on those archers as soon as the War Lions of Christ came in. Now we have the Chaos Sorcerer Metal coming in. He could be throwing in a nice, and it looks like he's got the Skull Katam, Final Trans, and that nice blob would be nice. But Pigman ain't gonna fall for it that easily. Or he does, but I don't know. And this is the weird thing with healing. And this is why I understand healing needs to be as good as it is, because it can counter things like this. The Skull Katam. It's actually a lot more damage. It's actually in the hundreds. I don't know why it doesn't show the Skull Katam upgrade. It's weird. But it is a lot more damage than that Final Trans. Oddly enough, the Fireborn actually did escape, but everything else that didn't suffered huge losses. The Soul Grinder needs to get out because there's 4 arrow units. All of them raining down on top of that poor Soul Grinder Tzeentch. The Hero and the Chaos Lord chasing off Teclis as they should, but at the same time they could be taking on those War Lions, taking on those arrows and shutting them down so the Soul Grinder can get shots in. And now the Reavers are here just being annoying. Pigman is pushing hard. He wants that grand prize. Soul Grinder just being the terror unit apparently, but against High Elves and how high their leadership is, yeah, it's not going to be that great, honestly. And looking at it now, I'd rather have seen, instead of a Soul Grinder, maybe take 2... oh, is that over? Yeah, that was overcasting. I would have just went for a regular Searing Doom. Yeah, regular Searing Doom probably would have been better. And yeah, instead of a Soul Grinder, probably like 3 Marauders with Spears, or 3 Blues. Blues probably would have been cool. Both units are susceptible to the arrows, but at least the Blues can fight back. And they're not too bad at shooting into Warlands of Praise, so there's that too. Do the same thing to your opponents do and just overwhelm them. And here comes that overcast. Oh, it's, yeah, Teclis, get out of there. He thinks he's getting, I don't know why he ran. I guess he didn't want to do, yeah, friendly fire damage, even though it still happens, I guess, maybe. But, yeah, Teclis just getting out of there, as he guess he should, but the Fireborn, even taking that regrowth, they're still going to lose this, being absolutely surrounded and beaten back. Sour Guts being absolute chads, taking the beatings from the spears, and will deliver it back, although these arrows are just nutty. But once Harrison takes care of those arrows, I think he's got a good shot at this, because Tzeentch will dominate in melee. It's just shooting that's the problem right now. Every Chaos player's known weakness. Reaver's chasing off Centaurs of Tzeentch. Talk about a broken unit getting beaten down. The Reavers don't... I think their stats are actually not too far from being similar to the Centaurs of Tzeentch. I think they might have just been kited a little too hard or shot down before they could actually get into a good charge. And yeah, this is the problem. Just all these arrow units. The Fireborn are still alive. Give or take, they're, you know, not the most amount of models, but the fact that they're so tenacious. Just unsummon them and then get to saving up so you can bring them out again. Four Lions are absolutely going to finish off those Marauders. And Harrison is just held back, forcing himself to come off his own point and start taking this. And Harrison was actually up 2,000 points at one point, but now it's just Pigman leading the charge. And don't be fooled, those aren't spears, those are Silver Guard. 2 Silver Guard he saved up for, coming in on the side. A real cheeky play, and I really do like it, sending in some elite units over here. Because he's pretty much got this objective, this side of the map, hands down. Harrison is trying to deal with these arrows, but yeah. Although he's dealing with the arrows pretty okay. There's no real... All his melee units are actually back in the spawn. Which, as good as that is, there's nothing to defend the arrows, so he can now pick up all the arrows. And once the melee units get caught from the reinforcing units, he can then bring those up, so... Pigman is very, he's overstretched himself a little bit. Although he will take the side objective, I have no doubt about that. Marauders aren't that great at dealing with Silver and Guard. 54 melee defense, that's nuts. Yeah, those boys will last, and I don't really think, unless you have Flamers, you're not really going to be able to deal with those guys. Flamers of any variation. Shit, even Exalted Flamers. Oh, man. Oh, man. Alright. So back to it. Harrison losing value, losing points, but he's still in this. And here's that overcasted final trans on top of Teclis, but Potion of Charroy? I don't know how to pronounce it. Pretty good. 40 damage resistance, so ward save, and then just heals on top of that. And it absolutely counters the damage that final trans is doing up top. At least half of it. If it would have been a regular final trans, definitely would have done pretty much nothing. And Teclis, thanks to his damn speed, is able to just keep running away. I don't know. Comparing, I mean, 3,000 for Teclis makes me think of Be'lakor. Be'lakor will get his value if played right, but Be'lakor is very susceptible to things like Spirit Leech and such. I mean, he's got a good health pool, but not enough, and he's got no healing besides being, you know, terrorizing units. And if he can't terrorize them, well, he doesn't really have healing, so. But in terms of Teclis, I think you can, but Teclis has subpar stats, so if you can enrage Teclis somehow, bring him down to your level and force the fights and trap him, yeah, that could be a problem. Same could be said for most lords, but at least those lords will be cheaper. You can have a nice wider army. But that's the beauty of Warhammer right now. Lords are now paying their price. And yeah, this is a real sweaty match. Harrison going in for the take on the home objective, forcing him out. I think I would have rather him, instead of throwing that unit away to the dogs, or to the lions in this case, maybe just shut down those Lothran Sea Guard so he can just surround him, get rid of him as quick as he could. And then, yeah, just get a flanking charge on him, because that charge didn't do anything. It did nothing. And now he just gave away more Marauders. And over here, though, the Chaos Hero and Lord are providing plenty of support, chasing off Reavers. Hopefully going to deal with the Silverguard eventually, because they're just running over. Here at this point, I thought Harrison was going to get triple cap, but Harrison is tenacious as well. He gives me problems. More so because I just don't know the game, I guess. I know enough, but I don't know everything. I know fundamentals pretty well. I know which units are decent. But you never know what... And I know the metas, too. Because as soon as I saw this game, I was like, he could do Teclis, he could do Imric, right? When you're doing High Elves into Tzeentch, but with how much anti-large, Imric may not, and it doesn't leave you with a lot of army to really play with, so... Teclis is kind of the same boat, but at least you have a little more. He's easier to get away from all the flying stuff. And his health pool isn't as great as Imric's. Although still a terror-causing unit, not too bad. So it could have went either or. I was expecting at least 4 arrows, though, that's for sure. White Lions, though. The White Lions were actually a weird pick, in my opinion, because he could have easily went with a bunch of spears. And then the White Lions wouldn't do too great. Just a bunch of spears and blues and pinks would have been a problem for his build, honestly. But no, he got lucky and Harrison went with the Soul Grinder. I mean, they were backed up by archers for sure, which would have been nice, but I don't know. I think bringing in the caster earlier too for the Searing Dooms on the archers would have helped out a lot. So much. Forcing them to move about, not take shots. Or even just in the front line, too, where those spears are coming in, and those blobs. Although the final transmutation was great, it really didn't do anything. It didn't kill anything. It did weaken a couple of units, but I think with the right comp, it could have done that, too. I mean, army comp. It's hard to say, you know... It's hard to say pre-game, but... Everything's hindsight, right? It's tough. As for Pigman, yeah, just, how would I predict what Tzeentch is bringing? I mean, I think just Marauder spam with blues is pretty much the way to go. Maybe throw in I've seen a mix it with Chaos Warriors. Especially into... I mean, I don't know why you would go Chaos Warriors, knowing that White Lions would be a thing. Just go cheap and just do that. Maybe bring in 1 or 2 Centaurs as each for their cav. Plenty of Furies and Screamers. And just dominate. And Furies can beat up Teclis quite a bit, so it's not like Teclis is free, especially when you have the Hero and the Lord. And if he had gone with the 3 blues instead, he would have had enough points to bring in the Change or Die ability, which I think would have been fantastic here. Because there was a lot of blob fights where he could have gave those units the 20% ward save, the extra leadership. It would have been nice to have seen. And I think they have, yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah. The passive regen's already on there, so you don't have to pay for that. Or at least I think you don't. It's been a while since I played, so... And here come the Fireboard again, absolute tears. Pigman is up 3,000 value, so he was able to actually bring these boys back in. Although he has spent a lot of his healing too on Teclis. That's a thing though. If you know they're gonna bring healing, I don't even know if you try to kill the SEM or the unit. Well, I think, yeah, it's still worth it to kill models like Cav or anything. But when it's something like the Shredder or Mordfang or any SEM really, it's not worth trying to kill it. Just ignore it. Just ignore it. Just ignore it and kill the army. Because the army is so much easier to kill. And he's not going to waste a regrowth on it. Yeah, even Teclis is running away from Furies. He could try to trap him with those Screamers if he's... Yep, and there they go. No! Don't go for the White Lines. You could have trapped Teclis right there. That actually might have killed him too with how much weight would have been there. Another good Flock of Doom there. And he's been pretty oh, no. He only got the Furies, my bad. Yeah, that was a weird Flock of Doom. Most of his Flock of Dooms have been pretty good there. I think it was a bit of a weird... I mean, no, he still has plenty of Winds of Magic. Because I see his army ability still active. on a lot of his units. The one that gives the +2 leadership and 12 melee defense. Yeah, it's pretty nutty. And it's getting close. We're down to the wire here. Harrison is going at it, trying to retake his home objective. He's up on points. He's down in value, but he can at least hold. Sour Guts will be able to push out a lot of these units because Sour Guts are amazing. And the quicker you kill them, the quicker they kill you. Problem is those and here's the biggest mistake, especially at the end. This is something you really shouldn't be doing. Throwing your Lord into a unit that will absolutely trash your Lord. I don't like this at all. I think. I mean, you guys are seeing it. This is the mistake I usually make, you know. And when you're under the heat of the moment, I think, yeah, this could be live or die. I understand what he was trying to do, just throw it as a distraction, maybe pick up a unit or two, instead of letting the Fireborn run around the map and do whatever they wanted to. So it's not the worst play, but at the same time, he could have used his Lord just hold onto objective or provide support on his home objective, because these Reavers aren't going to be able to take that objective soon enough. Not enough to the point where Harrison could actually win this on points. But yeah, Pigman is holding that one firm. He can't push this one quick enough. So yeah, and it's coming down to 5, but Pigman picks it up with the last second. GG's, fellas. GG's. That was rough. If Harrison had held his home points or anything for a second more, he would have won that. He would have won that. Rough. But yeah, I said it already, but lose the Soul Grinder, bring in Pinks, bring in Change or Die, and I think you're good here. You have a nice, tough opening that can at least put up some counterplay into these Elves. Or at least better, instead of a Soul Grinder that really didn't do much. And kudos on Pigman. Nothing too bad. Techless is a risk, though, because you could just ignore him and then just go for the army. And then call GG's from there. And I've done that before fighting Imrik. It's so easy fighting Imrik, honestly. You just ignore him and kill the rest of the army and have a good day. Speaking of good day, I hope you guys enjoyed the game. Please like, sub, follow me here on YouTube. Come join the stream when you can by joining the Discord. Show some love or play a game. Either way works for me. Alright folks, with all that said, y'all have a good one. Peace and goodbye for now.